To have your company on TSB, Talk Sport Business on Talk 100.3. It's a very famous day in the history of Test cricket. It was on this day back in 1986, the famous tied Test match, only the second in history in Chennai when India played Australia. And one of the players for the Indian side on that day was Chandrakant Pandit, and he joins us on Talk 100.3. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you very much, sir.
It's very, I mean, it's really, really good to have you again on the show, Chandu sir. First up, after so many years of this test match, the only second test match in the history of test cricket that was a tied test match, you were a part of it. If you could recollect the moments when, Ravi Shastri was on the non-strikers end and the umpire rose the finger on Maninder Singh.
Yes, that right. Nobody can forget ever, and neither me. Because I was part of that, and I still remember, even apart from that decision, even Kiran More was not well. He was playing as a wicket keeper. I was playing as a batsman.
Right?
And he had to be hospitalized on that particular day, and I had to keep wickets. So
Okay.
Obviously, that remembering that the last ball of the tie test match, historical tie test match, that Maninder Singh was given leg before. In fact, he had, tried and shown that his bat, just wanted to make show to umpire that he played the ball. But of course, he was given leg before. And obviously that, we were almost winning that match, and there was a lot of excitement in the dressing room, a lot of tension in the dressing room. And we never thought about that we will lose that game because Ravi Shastri was at the other end.
Right.
Before that, I was batting with Ravi, and of course, there's a lot of fun, a lot of spin off the pitch, and Greg Matthew was bowling, outside the off stump and turning. But somehow, during the drinks break, that I can recollect that Ravi came and told me, you can set the ball well. Why don't you disturb his line?
Okay.
And immediately after drinks, that the first ball I tried to play cut and played on stumps. So I cannot forget that my dismissal as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got out, and 17 runs were required at that point in time when you got out. I'm sure walking back, you would have thought, na, कि अब रवि की बात मैं कभी नहीं सुनूंगा.
You're right. Why he had to come and tell me to play that shot? I mean, I was just focusing not to play that shot and try and play towards mid-on and mid-off. So that was the intention. So what a great opportunity for me to, win the game for India.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of very, very rare that opportunity you get in your life. And I missed out. So it was very, very sad for me.
Going back to the start of that day, you needed 348 to win off those 87 overs. What chance did you give yourselves to actually score those runs?
Well, I think that those runs, we found it a little difficult because we were batting fourth, and I think the lot of spin of the surface, there was a lot of pressure of even defending the ball. It was very tough to play the shots, and that already started creating the pressure on us. But ultimately, when we started going close to the game, we started believing, yes, we can make it. And I think that the pressure was the other way around, that went on the Australians.
Right.
But eventually, that did happen, that we could finish the game.
When it came down to the pressure on the Australians, the bowler of that final over, Greg Matthews, famously was wearing a jumper during that entire test match. In fact, there were times he was wearing two. In his mind, that was to put up to the Indians that the heat doesn't bother me. I can bowl in two jumpers. Did that have any impact on the way you saw the way Greg Matthews was playing that day?
Well, I think that the way he was bowling and the way he had that kind of confidence, within himself, that he always tried to put pressure on that. Because whatever, when I was batting against him and the other batters as well, we always felt that, he was, probably, forcing you to play those shots, trying to, make you some mistakes in that. And that's kind of his approach, that his body language, the little aggressiveness, the way he was trying to put pressure or trying to instigate you to play these kind of shots. I think that atmosphere was, entirely different. Even I got out, I remember that, he kept on following me towards the dressing room, which, instigated everyone. But that is the part of the game which we understand that we knew the Australians are, always very aggressive on the field.
Right. Also, talking about the same test match, about another Australian, Dean Jones. I mean, he batted his life out in the first innings, 210 in those testing conditions in Chennai. If you could throw some light on his innings there, because he was dehydrated, he was vomiting. It was all sorts of trouble for him.
Yeah. I'll tell you, salute to him that the way he has batted in that hit, because, I could see him, every 10 overs he was vomiting, he was drinking water, he was drained out, and the way he was, shown that running between the wicket in that hit, in spite of not well, and taking that inning for 200 runs, because I remember even first 5 overs, I think Kiran More also had the same kind of problem.
Okay.
And he started vomiting. He was very dizzy in behind the stumps, and immediately I had to keep wickets. So, considering that heat, considering that the atmosphere and the pressure of the game in Chennai, the way he has batted, I mean, I still can recollect his batting, the way he was jumping out against Maninder Singh and Ravi Shastri to play the shots. I mean, he really had that kind of guts on the pitch, which was assisting the spinners.
Yeah, it is, as an Australian, I can say it is considered the best Australian Test match innings in history, given what he's put his body through, losing 7 or 8 kilograms. And when we look back, I mean, there's only, of all the years of Test cricket, there's only been the two. There was the first between Australia and the West Indies, and then this between Australia and India in 1986. Chandrakant, do you feel a sense of pride that you were able to be a part of such an incredible Test match?
Obviously, anybody would love to be a part of that kind of test match. Of course, we would have won, and I would have been more happy about that. But still, going back and thinking about that, the historical tie test match, I was part of that with the Indian team and playing against Australia. So it was amazing feeling. But I would tell you that in the same match was repeated in Chennai after a few years, and the same players were in the middle.
Okay. And what was the result of that test match?
So that test match we won.
Oh, okay. So then it just was a poetic justice that we won that test match, isn't it, sir?
Yeah. just to have a great memory in life, that is a second match we won.
But when there was the tie, I'm sure there would have been some players that were wandering around going, is it a win? Have we lost? What have we done? What was the feeling like when you went into the dressing rooms? Did you feel like you'd gained something? Did you feel like you'd lost something? Or were you just stunned that you'd been a part of a tied test?
Yeah, it's always, that kind of feeling when you almost won the match. I mean, if you look at I remember the dressing room that we were all quiet, nobody could utter the word. And, it's something that we lost something big in our life, It's
right.
Like somebody's losing out on World Cup, or somebody's, losing out on a big record. And it's a very quiet dressing room. And everybody was just kept on looking, somebody just putting his chin down, just looking at the floor. And we didn't know what exactly happened. I mean, that last ball, the great excitement in the the stadium as well. Right. I mean, the dressing door was shut and we was quiet inside and nobody could talk to each other.
Right. In fact, Ravi Shastri did mention about this, that after the decision was given, he stormed into the room of the umpire Vikram Raju and said that, listen, whatever you've done is not right. Was that true, or Ravi sir has just masti mein bol diya unhone?
Yeah, I don't remember about that, but I think everybody was talking that that umpire should have at least considered that the last ball, and that we could have won, the India could have won. Rather than raising his finger up.
Right.
So that decision he should have not given. So that kind of talk is obviously after the match, but one has to accept that the result, whatever it is been shown on the paper.
Yeah, well, the magic of the Madras Test match, the Tide Test of 1986, I almost feel like for what you and many of the players over those 5 days went through, that it didn't have better TV coverage. Because I think if it did, we were just discussing, it'd be replayed on TV on this day every single year, Chandrakant.
Yeah. I mean, somehow, when you think about it, it is very difficult to digest it.
Mm-hmm.
You keep on thinking about that. Even tomorrow, even I want to watch that match and try and blame myself that you could have done that and you should have done that and probably that India would have done that. So that sort of things that keep going in your mind.
No, that's so true. I mean, some disappointments live, within ourselves for life. But then again, you are someone who have changed that disappointments into victories for not just Mumbai, but for Vidarbh, for Madhya Pradesh, and also for Rajasthan. As a coach, this is phenomenal story. The way you have tutored so many youngsters, not the flashy Mumbai team, not the big Delhi team, but a Vidarbh team, a Madhya Pradesh team, some teams that have never seen the trophy of Ranji. How does one look back at a career like that, where you missed out on some opportunities, but you've made something out of literally nothing as a coach also?
Well, with God grace, I would say, and all credit goes to all these players, because ultimately, players make the coaches, and coaches don't make the players. That is what I always keep saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that experience what during my career, entire my career, the way I've shared the dressing rooms with the stalwarts or legends, and the inputs which I got it from them, which I always try to inculcate in the young boys, and probably the commitment and passions that what I probably that has helped, and I'm very very happy about that. And of course, it's not the end of the world, but it's all history now. We could be looking forward to, for the another efforts as well.
Well, it's been described as many as the greatest test match of all time, the Tide Test in Chennai on this day in 1986 between India and Australia. Chandrakant, you scored 35 in the first innings, 39 in the second, and we really do appreciate your time and sharing your stories on what is such an incredible day in Test history.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Wonderful. There is
Thank you for
Chandrakant
inviting
Pandit. No, thank you very much. Sharing what would have been just an exceptional day. And I think he sums it up, because you'd go into the dressing room and think, oh, should we have lost that? Oh, well, lucky we didn't lose it. Oh, hang on a sec. We've been a part of history.
Exactly. I mean, a tied test match, drawn test matches are something that we've all known forever. But a tied test match, it's so rare. And that too while chasing 348 odd. Incredible story. And it's our good luck today that, we got to speak to the man who was a part of that game, Chandrakant Pandit, one of the biggest names as far as coaching is concerned. And Kish, his next assignment is as the head coach of Kolkata Knight Riders.
Unbelievable. He's got a big 2023 coming up. You're on TSB.